Brother, welcome to this video on emotional resilience. Alright, so this is where I'm going to teach you how to handle, manage, and become a master of your emotions. Your emotions are basically your superpower. They're all of our superpower, which is why as men we've been taught to not feel them. Sedate, suppress, distract, push them away, don't acknowledge them, right? Because our true power is in our emotions, okay? A lot of men, especially, think it's the power of the mind. And look, it is good to have a powerful mind, yeah. But I'll share with you, I spent 10 years working on the power of my mind. And it wasn't until I started doing the work around emotions that I really started to become fully who I am. So yes, we've got the mindset work. It's good. Everyone's doing mindset work. We're here to go to another level. We're here to grow, evolve, and ascend as men. And in doing that, it's about building this emotional resilience. So I want to share with you that I, just like a lot of other men, a lot of women as well, let's be honest, a lot of people would run away from my emotions or try and distract myself or pretend they weren't there. I would judge myself for feeling these emotions, especially in the work that I'm in, right? Where I'm a mentor, I've been a coach, transformational leader in different roles. And then when I felt anger, sadness, grief, all these different emotions, I would get really hard on myself. I would judge myself. I shouldn't feel like this. I've done this mindset work, right? I used to have this story. I've already done this work. I've done the mindset work. Why are these things coming back? Okay. Now I want to share with you something about emotions. Now, emotions are energy in motion. Now, if you've had an emotion come up, let's say it was sadness, right? You got your heart broken. Okay, and you decided to drink that pain away or snort that pain away or do whatever you did to not feel that pain. That emotion, that energy in motion, that's what emotions are, energy in motion, doesn't go anywhere. It stores itself as a memory in your body. Okay, so if you've noticed that you have emotions come up and you're like, something happens, right? You might get cut off in traffic. And your amount of anger and rage that you feel in that moment does not justify the fact that this person just didn't see you or they were from overseas and don't use blinkers, whatever it is. But you're feeling so much rage, anger, maybe even hatred, right? And, it's not really justified. It's because you've got a lot of stored rage, anger, because you didn't allow yourself to feel it, right? Because maybe you were told that you a bad boy when you get angry, right? Maybe you were told when you were sad and crying when you were a young child that only girls cry, right? So we're not allowed to feel sadness. It's bad to feel anger, okay? Because anger means violence. It doesn't always mean violence. You find anger, something you're angry about, and you mix that with something that you're like finding fun or creative, right? And you will fulfill your passion. Creativity and anger, beautiful mix. A lot of what I do comes from my anger, from what's taking place with men in the world right now, right? And then my creativity in my business and connecting with men like yourself. And I make it fun. It becomes my passion project, right? Same with a lot of music. You take anger and you take something that you love that's creative, you put it together and you create magic in the world. Okay, so anger is not a bad emotion. There are in fact no negative emotions. When I speak of negative emotions, they're not actually negative emotions. They're all here to teach you something. Right? Every emotion is part of the human experience. Okay, but it's how we identify and utilize and connect with these emotions that makes the difference. So, emotional resilience. Firstly, I'm going to talk to you again. So we've got like our anger, our sadness, our fear. Right? We've got grief. Then we've got shame, we've got hurt, we may have depression or anxiety. Okay, so all of these emotions, you're allowed to feel them all. In fact, you're meant to feel them all. And when you're allowing yourself to feel them all, and you create the space to actually go into the emotion, what you're doing, I'm going to share with you how I basically see what I do with emotions, right? I've got these emotions coming up, so I'm on path moving towards my vision, right? And then something will come up. I'll either be triggered or I just have this feeling in my body, okay? Or someone will say something, or an event will happen, or maybe I'm just tired and then these emotions come up, right? These are some examples that can happen, right? Again, remembering the obstacle is the way. Your trigger is there to serve you. It's helping you to grow and evolve, okay? So let's say that something happened or nothing happened. I'm just feeling sad, right? But, I've got no reason to feel sad, and I now feel like I'm useless, right? So now I'm useless. I'm not good enough, right? I'm not being a man, right? I shouldn't feel this. I shouldn't feel this. All these sorts of things, all these stories, and none of it's true, right? So when that sort of situation happens, what can I do? Well, I can go to the gym. I can work out. I can lift weights. I can put on some music. I can change my state, right? And if you were talking to me 5 years ago as a mindset coach, absolutely, that's what I would have taught you. And it was a beautiful Band-Aid approach, and it works temporarily. Right? We're at a different level of awareness, different level of consciousness as men right now, as humanity, where that ain't going to cut it anymore. We need to come to know these parts of ourselves, because that's all it is. It's a part of yourself. And when you can come from a place of non-judgment, understanding, and love, this is where you start to evolve. This is where you really raise your consciousness. This is where you become your highest, most connected self. So the obstacles away, your emotions, emotional resilience. I'm going to talk to you about what to do when emotions come up for you, okay? Instead of trying to distract, sedate, suppress, see if you can learn to see these as opportunities to use the process that I'm going to give you in the next video. All right, so when these emotions come up, instead of trying to run away from them, what if there was a process that you could use that would give you a breakthrough and help you to feel good 9 times out of 10 when you go into the discomfort? This is emotional resilience. Now, as a man, it's one thing to be emotionally intelligent and understand your emotions. It's another thing to have emotional resilience. And if you want incredible relationships, whether that be in the workplace, whether that be in your romantic life, whether that be in your family, wherever it is, you want incredible relationships, you become emotionally resilient. You also have a greater awareness around emotions. You start to understand people more, come from more of a place of compassion and understanding instead of judgment. And if the whole world did that, guess what? We would have peace and heaven on earth. We would. If we could come from understanding that everything you see in someone else is a part of you also. So instead of judging, it's like, that is me. I believe it was the first time I listened to the book Conversations with God. If you have not yet listened to that book, I recommend listening, because you get the female and the male version of God speaking to the writer, speaking to the author. And through that book, I believe it was that book, it's talking about like seeing everyone, seeing the homeless man in the street. Right? Instead of judging him like, why doesn't he have a job, and he should have done better, and putting blame and judgment on him, just understanding like we don't know someone's story, right? We don't know what happened to the person to put them in that situation. The rapist, the murderer, you don't know what took place in their life. You don't know whether they were messed with as kids. We don't know the full story for that human to be having that experience. So how can we judge? Okay? Because if it's different things that happen to you, you would have a different outcome right now. You would be a different person. And this is where I can come from love and understanding for every human on this earth, including myself. And that was the hardest one. Love and understanding for myself. If I can do this for everyone else, how do I learn to do this for myself? Well, I'm teaching you that. Because when you can do this to yourself and give this to yourself, the game's won. It's already done. You are a light being. You're a spiritual warrior, warrior of light and love. If you choose that, whatever identity, your best self, the strongest version of yourself, whatever resonates with you, a self-made man, it's up to you. But to be that best version of yourself, it's about coming to know, love, honor, and accept who you are. And this is the path to empowerment. So emotional resilience, I'm going to talk to you about your emotions and what you want to do with them. And it's a process called aspecting, right? So it's where instead of getting caught in your head around what is all this, now you've got processes where you can ask yourself questions and all those sorts of things, which is great. But this other process is a way that you can do this with every part of yourself. come to know, love, accept every single part of yourself. And that's through talking to yourself. So in this video, I just wanted to do a bit of an introduction. And in the next video, I'm going to go into self-talk and aspecting. But for now, just understand that every emotion is fine. It's good. You're allowed to feel. It is your feelings that really is where your power is. This is why as men, as masculine men, we're so attracted to the feminine, because they feel and they're creative, and they're expansive, and they're loving, they're joyful, because they feel so much. And a lot of men are numb, disconnected. They've cut their head off from their heart, not connected to themselves. How do we do that? Distraction, sedation, suppression. What is that? Drugs, alcohol, porn, even sex, television, video games, gym. That was one of mine. A healthier one, but it was one of mine. So emotional resilience. Get ready to build your emotional resilience, because when you come to actually know and love every part of yourself and your emotions are no longer a problem for you, nothing can get in your way anymore, because the only thing that ever got in your way was you and how you dealt with the things that came up for you, right? When you've got emotional resilience, what's going to stop you? Like, think about it. If you get triggered, bang, I know how to handle this. I'll heal that part of myself and I'm back connected to my heart. I'm back in love. Love conquers all. Every single time. Love conquers all. Come from love and nothing can stop you. Right? You just come back to love. Come back to love. Cultivate that. Cultivate it within you. And then expand it. If you want more love in your life, be what you want. We do not get what we want in life. We get what we are. How do we be love? We be love. Right? How do we get love? We be it first. And we give it, we expand, we express from the heart. And when you do this, people feel that. Like attracts like. You want to attract a beautiful human interaction in your life. You've got an open heart. You'll find that you're calling that in. That's what this program does. This is what my work does. My heart calls in my soul tribe, as can yours. So it's my job to help you really connect to that. Because when we all come back to love, right, when you do it for yourself, and you be the example, we be the change that we want to see in the world, we'll witness a completely new world take place in our lifetime. And it's an honor to be on that journey with you, brother. That'll do it for this.